Pressure is building around the Prime Minister once more. Sir Keir Starmer is facing growing calls to retreat from plans to limit jury trials, not from the opposition, but from within his own party. At the centre of the rebellion is a senior Labour backbencher and a stark political threat. Carl Turner, a veteran MP and former barrister, has warned he is prepared to force a by-election rather than backing what he describes as ludicrous reforms to the justice system, a move that could cost Labour a seat.
I've been in this place for 16 years. I was elected, I think, in May 2010. And in those 16 years, not once have I been tempted to vote against the whip. Not once have I voted against the Labour Party, whether in opposition or in government. But I'll tell the Minister, the Chief Whip, the Deputy Prime Minister and the Prime Minister now, I will vote against this ludicrous proposal every step of the way.
Turner's constituency, Kingston upon Hull East, was held by a margin of just 4,000 votes at the last election. With Reform UK now polling strongly, a by-election would be a high-risk gamble for the Prime Minister. And it's not an empty threat from Mr Turner either. He says that his opposition is rooted in experience, not ideology. Years ago, he was arrested, charged and remanded in custody after unknowingly dealing in stolen goods. On legal advice, he chose a jury trial, a decision that shaped his belief in the system, and his refusal to see the right scaled back for others. Behind the scenes, the pressure is being felt, with Whitehall sources saying officials are now discussing watering down proposals in a bid to prevent a damaging defeat in the House of Lords, and contain unrest on the backbenches. Speaking to the Financial Times, one Labour insider compared the situation to recent government climb-downs on inheritance tax for farmers and business rates for pubs. Health Secretary Wes Streeting just this morning publicly pleaded Keir Starmer to stop U-turning on policies. Speaking at a conference in London, the Cabinet Minister issued a demand to other ministers to get their policies right the first time.
In the 18 months that I've had the privilege of leading the largest public service in the world, and the largest corner of the British state, I've sought to get the balance right, being proud of our progress without overselling success, and being honest about our shortcomings and challenges without fueling pessimism and defeatism. Most of all, I've strived to make every day in this office count, to be motivated by the scale of the challenge I'm up against, not weighed down by it, to take as many people with me as possible without surrendering to vested interests, and to never forget that the British state is like a shopping trolley with a slightly wonky front wheel that will always orientate to the status quo unless it is steered in the right direction. People are paying more in tax, but getting a poorer service in return. From Whitehall down, the state has become too reactive, paying the highest price at the latest stage instead of preventing problems earlier and cheaper. It's penny wise and pound foolish. Third, the world is changing and public expectations have changed. For too long, public services have rationed power as tightly as they ration money. Those with confidence, connections and time find ways through. Those without are told to wait, comply and even be grateful. That isn't equality, it's a quiet inequality built into the system. In the rest of our lives, people are used to services that are straightforward, joined up and digital. They rightly asked, if I can track a parcel across the world, why can't the state tell me what's happening with my case? Why do I have to tell my story 5 times? Why do I have to travel, queue, wait and chase? Unless the state modernises, it will become increasingly irrelevant to the lives of its citizens. Failure to address these challenges is creating a national mood of cynicism and pessimism. But the most corrosive sense of all is fatalism, the idea that things can't change. However much joy we continue to take in the simple pleasures of home, family and community, we're losing faith in our collective ability to do big things. The right encourage this argument. They're rolling the pitch to come in with a chainsaw, and tear up public services entirely. Bafflingly, some on my own side of the political divide have begun to parrot the same argument. They complain about the civil service. They blame stakeholder capture. This excuses culture does the centre-left no favours. If we tell the public that we can't make anything work, then why on earth would they vote to keep us in charge? And we should be in no doubt that they are excuses. Back to my shopping trolley analogy. There's no point complaining about the wonky wheel if you're letting the trolley have a mind of its own, instead of steering it towards the destination you're after. We are not simply at the mercy of forces outside of our control. Our fortunes are in our hands. And it is precisely because we on the centre-left believe in the power of the state to transform people's lives that we are best placed to change it. Where there aren't levers, we build them. Where there are barriers, we bulldoze them. If people in charge aren't up to the job, we replace them with the best and the brightest. That is the approach that has put the NHS on the road to recovery.
Great question. So taking those two in turn, Amy, to your first point, feedback is the breakfast of champions. We love to hear it, and if people think we're getting it wrong, and we think that they're right, far better to do the right thing rather than to spare one's political blushes. In the NHS, we have an initiative called GERFT, Get It Right First Time. That should be our New Year's resolution for 2026. Let's try and get it right first time.
Perhaps not wanting to fly in the face of Mr. Streeting's words, the Justice Secretary, David Lammy, is understood to be pressing ahead with his jury trials proposal, regardless of the backlash. His plan would restrict jury trials for defendants likely to receive sentences of 3 years or less, moving cases into new judge-only courts designed to clear an 80,000 case backlog. Speaking on the proposal, a Ministry of Justice spokesman said, "Only reform combined with investment will deliver swift and fair justice for victims. That's why we are creating new swift courts without magistrates and within the Crown Court, as well as investing millions in legal aid, the courts, and increasing sitting days." But it seems the political damage may already be done. Labour MPs, peers, and senior legal figures have warned the policy risks eroding trust in justice and handing the Prime Minister an avoidable crisis. The opposition has seized on the moment, with Conservative leader Kemi Badenoch welcoming the rumours of a U-turn, but accusing Sir Keir Starmer of lacking the backbone to overrule his Justice Secretary's proposal. I hope these rumours of another U-turn are correct, but I will believe it when I see it. If Keir Starmer had a backbone, he would stand up to his Justice Secretary and cancel this mad idea to scrap jury trials. For Sir Keir Starmer, the choice is narrowing. Press ahead and risk losing MPs, a by-election and a House of Lords revolt, or retreat and add jury trials to a growing list of Labour U-turns. Either way, the warning from his own benches is clear. This isn't about clearing a backlog, it's about principle.